What's up, YouTube? Dragon Power 17 here, and I'm delivering you guys my Dark Magician deck profile update. It's been about 2 weeks-ish since I delivered my deck, and I made quite a bit of changes. So I decided to show you guys the changes I made. I'll go through them as I go through the deck, so without further ado, here's the deck profile. Starting off with the triple Dark Magician, the double Dark Illusion Magician. Still run the two copies. I think the two copies works well. I don't like seeing him in my hand, so I feel like running less copies than the maximum amount makes it easier for me to summon him from the deck when I want to, or if he is in my hand, he's in my hand during the right times. The next I run the triple rod. Nothing much to say about that. I run the single Kaiku. I took out the Knights and Sorcerer. I had to make room for the new adjustments, so I felt like cutting out the Knights and Sorcerer was one of the best options for competitive play. The Kaiku works well as a standalone as well, which is why I cut the Knights and Sorcerer, because Kaiku has a better standalone stats than Knights and Sorcerer. Running out the monsters, we got the double Ghost Reaper and the double Ghost Ogre. So I cut Ghost Ogre to 2, again making more space for other additions to the deck. This doesn't really have too much to say about Ghost Ogre's performance in the deck. I mean, it still does well, still acts as the Dark Magical Circle, sort of, because you can just pitch it to destroy a card effect, to destroy a card on the field, or destroy a monster that activated its effect. Onto the spells, we've got the triple Dark Magical Circle. 40. This is a 40 card deck. I forgot to say that. The changes I made didn't affect the card count, so there's still 40 cards. Actually, I realized I made a mistake on the Magical Circle during my last video. I said the second effect that banishes cards on the field stacked. I'm gonna read that sentence. It says you can target a card on the field your opponent controls, banish it. You can only use each effect of Dark Magical Circle once per turn. See if I can make it clear. There you go. I read the card before. I don't know why I got it in my head that the effect stacked. I think someone locals told me that or something. I don't know, but it does not stack the second effect. Next, we've got the triple Pot of Duality. There we go. The number of Pot of Duality didn't change because I feel that you still need to see it in the first turn, or at the very least, see it as much as possible. It just allows you to get to your combo pieces. Really, I mean, it's probably the cleanest way to do it without having to run like Upstart and other cards that don't do as well a job as Duality. We've got the double Allure of Darkness. I think 2 is a good number. I run 11 darks, but you don't want to banish all your darks. You need to see your rods, you need to see your Dark Magicians, so that leaves you with 5 potential darks to banish. So I feel like 2 is okay. Next, we got the double Pot of Desires. This is one of the cards I added to the deck newly. Most, if not all, Dark Magician players think this is a bad card in their deck just because you banish Dark Magician. You have a very hard chance. You have a very low chance of winning, which is very true. But the thing is, you can activate this card after you do all your searching. So after you activate your allures and your dualities, your rods, your circles, so you do all your searching, your Summoners Arts, your Illusion Magics, activate all that stuff. Then you can Duality to get, Desires to get your spells and other traps that you want to see. I actually prefer to activate this card before I use Circle, just because with less cards in your deck, you have a higher chance of topping a Dark Magician spell or trap card off your top of your deck when you have less cards in your deck. So it's always hit or miss, because Desires is such a, it literally divided the Yu-Gi-Oh community in half upon its debut, but it does well when I use it. I don't hate the card after using it in my testing. Next, we've got the Illusion Magic and the Summoners Art. I cut Summoners Art to 1 again. Still deciding whether I want to use 1 or 2. But I thought about it. For now, the 1 Summoners Art can replicate or act as the second Illusion Magic, because it's a cut and dry add Dark Magician to your hand. There's no cost. You just activate it and add Dark Magician, as opposed to having to have to tribute the monster. Most people who run this card either run just the Illusion Magic, or they run 2 Illusion Magics. But I feel like running the Summoners Art as opposed to the second Illusion Magic makes it so I don't have to rely so heavily on having a spellcaster in the first turn or second turn, or if I go second or whatever. It just gives me a way to get Dark Magician to the hand. And the last spell we've got is the trusty Dark Magic Attack. You can add this card to your hand with Eternal Soul, and it's free of charge as long as you have Dark Magician on the field to destroy your opponent's spell and trap cards. On to the traps, we've got the triple Magician Navigation. I really like this card, just because it sets up your board for Exceed plays, for extended disruption, because you banish your opponent's card, summon Kaiku off of this card, and then they can't banish anymore, or they can't. If you attack them with Kaiku, then they lose more cards. So it sets you up really strongly. Stretch your field up really, really strong. And then the Graveyard Effect is phenomenal. I actually talk about the Graveyard Effect more as I go through the deck, or the rest of the deck. I've got the triple Eternal Soul, which always works. Summon Dark Magician infinitely, as long as the card stays on the field. I also got the double Dimensional Barrier. I decided to put in these after I got the second one, because I decided to not run 1 copy of it. If I'm running, at first I was running Desires, and then I took out Desires to give you the deck that I showed you guys last week, or last couple weeks. And I took this out as well, because I was only running 1 copy, and I didn't want to, it felt kind of weird to me. So I have 2, and I run both. And I've got the one Vantage Emptiness, because it's amazing. Next card I want to talk about is the Drowning Mirror Force duo. I run double Drowning Mirror Force because the not having monsters is very likely, to say the least, just because Eternal Soul gets destroyed. And then, of course, you've got Magician Navigations to negate Twin Twisters once it's in the grave. But if you don't have the Navigation, or the Twin Twister you either turn you activate it, then you just shit out of luck. But with this card, it kind of mitigates your loss, because your opponent loses things too, unless they Twin Twister your Drowning Mirror Force too, in which case, you're up shit's creek without a Drowning Mirror Force. But, that's Yu-Gi-Oh! So I run the Drowning Mirror Forces. You could easily replace them with Quaking Mirror Force. But I like Drowning Mirror Force. This card looks really cool as a secret rare. So, next we've got the double strike, single warning, solemn trio. I didn't change that, so there's not much to say about it. They work because they're some of the most powerful trap cards in the game. Negation. Name of the game. As you guys can see, I took out the other Quaking Reinforce and the Starlight Road. I took out Starlight Road, moved it to side because I wanted to make more room. I feel like the Drowning Reinforce is really strong. You could swap the Drowning Reinforces for Quaking, or you could run one Quaking, one Drowning, or one Drowning, one Starlight Road. But I wanted to rely on the Magician Navigations to block my opponent from Twin Twistering or MSTing or Twistering or Tornado, whatever those other trap cards that destroy spelling traps, or Galaxy Cyclone or Cosmic Cyclone. Any of that stuff, you can just use this to negate it. So, onto the extra deck. The stuff I use hasn't changed too much. The double Illusion Magician, Big Eye, Flare Metal, then the Leo for the Ghost Ogre, Ghost Reaper tuners with Dark Magician, and Stardust Dragon for the Starlight Road. Like I said, it's side decked, but I still keep that in there because it takes up space in my side deck if I decided to put it there. My cherries targets, I've got the one ABC Buster Dragon or Dragon Buster, the Dante, Cyber Dragon Affinity. This could be anything because it depends on what you guys face up against the most. So, the one Topi the Lightning, the one Totally Awesome, the one Dark Law, the number 38, the Cypher and Lord Omega, and the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Some other things I would probably suggest using would be the Metal Foes Beryllium, which I don't have. Otherwise, this guy will come out for it. Maybe Alcahest, but I feel like I hear, and when I play, I hear that Beryllium's a better target. I do have an Alcahest, which I'm probably more likely to see than Cyber Dragon Affinity this time, this format, but I just have the Infinity in there for now. Next on to the side deck, we've got the one Ghost Reaper, the one Ghost Ogre to round out the playset, the double Chaos Hunter, the triple Kumongus, and the double Barrier Statue to run out the monsters. These guys are just probably the best, in my opinion, monsters you could side in for Dark Magician. Probably Raiden would be good, the multi-dimensional kaiju. But he's stronger than Dark Magician, so I run Kumongus as the monster who just happens to be weaker than Dark Magician. So I run him. But Raiden would be good because he's a lower darkness target. And you could just... you could Big Eye Raiden to your side of the field. You could interrupt the Kaiju Slumber. Summon this guy to your opponent and give yourself Raiden. There's a lot of things you can do. You can do the same thing with Gameciel or Gardala, any of the other kaijus that summon to your opponent's side of the field. Next, the double Twin Twister. I took out System Down because I didn't really need it. When playing against the ABC player, I realized I have so much prevention that I don't even need ABC Dragon Buster. I've got the double Chaos Hunter, the 3 Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries, the Dimensional Barriers, the Vanity Emptiness, the Warning, the Strikes, the Drowning Mirror Force, yada yada. I don't really need the System Down, so I feel like those cards with better targets to run. My side deck, I run the double Quaking Mirror Force, because when I side in the barrier statues, I want to have the Quaking Mirror Forces as protection. Because when playing against any non-dark decks, they likely have monsters that are stronger. I'm also playing against Blue Eyes, then the only way they could climb over this guy is if they ran the Chaos Max version with Manju. They could run him over. But other decks that can make lights or any other archetype, any other attribute stronger than Barrier Statue on the normal summon, you can just run the Quaking Mirror Forces and they back you up, as well as the Emptiness if they're playing a deck that has some darks. The Dimensional Barriers if they're playing extra deck darks. You've got the Eternal Souls and the Navigations to protect you as well. So that's why I run the Quaking just sided. Because when I side in these, I'll take out the Drownings and put in the double Quaking. And last but not least, I run the double Starlight Road as my last two cards, my side deck. Starlight Road, still a good card, and it still does protect you from the Eternal Soul effect. Maybe I didn't explain it in my last video, but there's some confusion, it seems. So Starlight Road doesn't stop. It stops Eternal Soul in a sense that when the card leaves the field, it destroys cards in the field. Your cards, your monsters. You can use Starlight Road if you have two or more monsters in the field. So, for instance, you have Eternal Soul faced up, and you had these guys on the field. If they activate Twin Twister, you can choose to Starlight Road the Twin Twister itself. That's if you have another face down or whatever. They target these two, or whatever. You can Starlight Road to negate the Twin Twister. Of the MST, the one copy of Eternal Soul, it goes to the grave, and its effect activates, which will destroy your monsters. Since you have two monsters in the field, you can Starlight Road to prevent your monsters from being destroyed, because the card effect of Eternal Soul destroys your two monsters. See, it says, let's see if I can get it to zoom in. There we go. Activate when an effect is activated, not a card. When an effect is activated, that will destroy two or more cards you control. Negate that shit and destroy that shit. Then you can special summon one Stardust Dragon from your extra deck. So it doesn't have to target a card on the field. It just negates and destroys. So Starlight Road is still good for the deck. So yeah, guys, that's the deck. Updated. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you guys found that you like this deck profile, leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh content. You guys can check out my Instagram page. It's DragonPower17. It's pretty easy to remember. The information will also be in the description section. And you can also check me out on Xbox. My gamer tag will also be in the description as well. If you guys would be so kind as to click an advertisement, it helps me a lot. It takes seconds out of your day. It doesn't take very long to click an advertisement. That'd be great. So, until next time, guys, Dragon Power 17 signing out.